What's up, guys? Russ from Backyard Boatwork. So it's been quite a while since I've uploaded a video to YouTube. It's January 1st. It's New Year's Day, so I'm in the shop today. If you follow me on Instagram, then you probably saw over the past couple of days that I started working on a new personal project. So this is my 16-foot runabout boat. It's a 1962 Arkasas Traveler, and I've used it for about 3 years or so, and it's been great, but the deck was plywood, the transom is probably wood, and it just all needs to be replaced. So this is really the only usable boat that I have. So I decided to take it apart and try to put it together as fast as I possibly can so that, me and the girlfriend can start taking it back out to the sandbars again. It's a little cold right now to be going in the water, but it's Florida, so it'll warm up real quick. So trying to get something that we can use for that. But I'm really trying to make a push with my YouTube channel to post more content, regular content. I mean, if I could really do 1 or 2 videos a week, like this video right now is going to be pretty short. I'm just going to kind of walk through what my game plan is with this boat, show you what I did yesterday, and then I'll start posting more as I dig deeper into the project. So let me show you real quick what I did yesterday and talk a little bit about what the game plan is for this. So the past couple of weeks, I started prepping my shop. So I work in a really small shop. This is a 20 by 30 shop. I have my laser machine over here, my CNC machine here, my workbenches. So this stuff is all modular, so I can move all this stuff around. My table saw is on wheels, so I bring it out there. But I used to have a lot of crap over here, so I cleared a lot of this out. I put this hoist in the ceiling with Tapcons and epoxy just so I can lift the engine off. So yesterday I backed the boat in and pulled the engine off. This is my Yamaha 90. I think this is like a 1988, but the most reliable engine I've ever owned, knock on wood. This thing, it just always runs. It cold start's a little rough right now, but we'll get that sorted out. So I have this stand. I actually made this aluminum stand. I purchased an old boat lift from somebody up near Sebring, like Lake Placid in Central Florida, and I chopped it up and put these casters on the bottom of it. So I'm going to assemble this, and then I'm going to drop the boat onto this dolly, and then I can bring the boat in here, and then I can pull it out to work on it and push it back in, to try to get it out of the way. And then, if I need to push it outside, I can. But I'm trying to do all the dirty work, the grinding, this fiberglass, the cutting, and all that stuff out here, because I don't really want all that dust getting over my machine. So I could hang plastic here if I needed to, and then push the stuff behind the plastic, because I built this loft here for storage, so I could plastic this off if I really needed to do some dirty work in here. I'll probably end up glassing the stringers in here. So I have another shop on the other side of this complex that I do my resin and my painting and things like that, but that's a small shop. So I have to try to balance a lot of things because I don't have a ton of space. So this is an engine stand. I actually started making these to sell these. I had this made up last week. I partnered with a local metal fab place to make these engine stands, and I'm going to start selling these on my website, but came in really handy for putting the engine on this yesterday. All right, so here's the boat. This is a 1962 Arkasas Traveler. I'm sure a lot of you or any of you have never heard of that. This has been a great boat. So it's not the best hull design. It's kind of a round bottom hull. It's flat in the back, but it's got a really aggressive front bow. So this boat rides really, really well in the chop. A couple months ago, we took it to the Keys, and it was kind of choppy. And I could run 30 miles an hour with this, and the bow would cut through the chop. And because it's flat, tapers to a flat bottom in the back, I can run really, really skinny with it, and it still rides well because of the way the bow is designed. So I didn't really like this hull design in the beginning, but I'm starting to fall in love with it a little bit. The downside to the round bottom hull is it's not very stable left to right. So
if you step on the cap here, the boat really like dips hard when you're boarding the boat. So getting in and out of the boat can be a challenge. But I think I might extend this chine out a little bit here and make like a splash rail, kind of like those things you see on the jet skis that kind of stick out a little bit. And I think that'll keep the boat from wanting to move left to right, port to starboard so much. So took the motor off yesterday. Somebody put these aluminum plates on to reinforce the transom, and they glassed all this top. Its top is pretty solid, but down below you can hear that it's hollow. So obviously back in 1962, the composites didn't exist. So all of the original stringers are made out of wood. Now, I don't know what kind of wood this is, but this center stringer is as solid as it could possibly be. But this center stringer here supports the keel. So it's a flat bottom with a keel in the middle. So that center stringer actually helps support this whole piece. So I'm not going to dig that out. I think cutting that out would be a total nightmare. And this wood here is still solid. So I'm going to leave that. These stringers here, I think, were added at some point. So I'm going to take those out. I might have to replace them with something just to support the deck. This is probably going to have to come out. This is actually pretty solid wood, but I mean, for the size of it, I'm just going to grind this out probably and replace it. I'm also going to convert this to a center console, I believe, or possibly a side console. I haven't made up my mind yet, but I'm going to cut all of this glass out here. I'm going to remove this whole piece and make this front all open with, you know, like a casting deck or storage up here in the front. I also plan to raise the deck up probably about 4 or 5 inches. So I want the deck to come up to about this level right here, because I'm trying to make this boat so that it's self-bailing. This boat might live on a mooring at some point. So not too far from here, I have my larger 37-foot boat on a mooring. So I take this boat out to it, and then we jump on that boat, and then I leave this boat on the mooring. So if it's on the mooring for a couple days and it rains and the batteries die, the boat's going to sink. So I need to try to make it so that it sheds the water by itself. So also lifting the floor up, it should give me the opportunity to put some storage hatches in the floor, because I'd like to be able to put my lines and maybe some fenders under the deck, but I highly doubt the deck's going to be tall enough to fit any fenders underneath the deck here. They'll probably all have to go in storage up here in the front, but I think I'm also planning to build a compartment in the back, which will kind of double function as a splash well for the outboard and storage. I might put the batteries in there. I'm not sure where I'm going to put the fuel tanks. Might put the fuel tank in the front. I really wanted to put the fuel tank in the floor. We'll see. Trying to keep this as budget as possible. It's nice having a plastic gas tank in the back. So it's almost about 2 o'clock now. Not gonna have much daylight to get a lot done today, but the goal today is to get these stringers out, and I think I'm going to start first with the transom. So as you can see here, as I work in, like, this side of the facility is storage units, and this side of the facility is all like businesses and working units. So the management office is right there, and they don't really like stuff parked in this area right here, because there's always trucks, heavy trucks that come through and come around this corner, so they don't like it to be blocked. But because it's July 1st, yeah, July 1st, January 1st, nobody's here. There's no traffic, nothing. So today's a good day for me to be doing this. So I need to get all this stuff cut out, and then hopefully I can get it into the shop on that stand at some point this week. All right, so I cut the top section of this cap off because I need to get in here to cut the transom out So I started to worry about cutting this out a little bit because I started to cut the top and I could see that this wood here is kind of the same wood that was used for the stringers, and this wood is really hard to cut. So I was stressing it that it was going to be hard for me to get this out, but I pulled this center section out and this is all just falling apart. So I think once I get some of this skin, these skin pieces here cut out, so I'm using the diamond tile blade just to cut the glass. Usually I would use my electric chainsaw, but it's at my dad's house. That would probably make it go a lot faster, but we're gonna run out of daylight here soon, so I don't have the time to drive to my dad's to pick that up. So I'm gonna try to kind of struggle through it with this and my Sawzall and just cut it in sections and then chip the wood away. I'm gonna have to get the chainsaw. Should be wearing a mask too. Don't be doing this shit without a mask. All right, that was a pain in the ass, but I got the inside skin out, so now just digging out this wood. Man, the sunlight is blasting right in the camera, so you probably can't even see this, but some of the wood on the top actually isn't bad, but like from here down, it's just junk. From this, all this right here was junk because there's probably water coming through the engine mounts, so now I have to get in here and just clean up this edge right here, grind this all down, dig all this out. So I'm just glad I got that out today. I was worried that I was gonna have to wait to get my chainsaw from my dad, but in pretty good shape now. All right, I switched over to my iPhone because the GoPro ran out of battery. Man, I don't understand these GoPros. That you put the battery in, it says an hour and a half, it lasts 20 minutes. I feel like I stuff batteries in GoPros more than I get work done. GoPro, get your shit together. But it's getting dark, so I'm just about to wrap up, but everything went pretty smooth today. Wasn't a lot to film, nothing crazy exciting, so I took this stringer out, that stringer out. I guess you could call it a stringer. I don't know if it was really doing anything except allowing the deck to be screwed into it. I ended up pulling this out because it was just a bit too rotted. It's kind of weird because underneath looks like epoxy, and I think this stuff was original, but was epoxy even invented in 1962? That's something I'll have to look up. I'm curious, but it's strange to see epoxy in a boat this old, unless somebody did that afterwards, but it doesn't look like it. I mean, this stringer is original for sure. This is original. I know somebody was in here before because the deck was changed, but the transom ended up coming out a lot easier than I expected it to, because when I started to cut up here, this wood was super solid, and I couldn't even cut it with the hacksaw. The same when I tried to cut that, it was really hard to cut. Let me see if I can find a piece of this in the garbage. Here it is right here.
So this is wood from 1962, and this is very heavy. This small piece is crazy, but the rest of the transom was mush. Like, I thought the top was relatively solid. It wasn't. The whole transom was mush. So it's a good thing that I did this, because, you know, eventually the motor was just going to fall off. It probably would have taken a while for that to happen, but I had to cut this small section of the cap off, because there was no way I would have been able to get up underneath to dig this out. And plus, when I go to put the transom back in, I'm going to need to have access to this. So I got to fill all these holes. Like, all this stuff's going to get filled in smooth, so I'll just stitch this back together. No big deal. I was hoping to get to cutting this out today. I still haven't mapped out exactly how I'm going to do it, so that I have as little fiberglass work later to finish it off. But I was thinking of saving this navigation light. So these are the nav lights, but I just feel like this looks weird. Like, just the way that it like sticks out like that. It looks like the nose of like an alligator or something. I don't know. If it was just flat, I think it would look a lot better. But if I cut it all the way around, why does it keep going out of focus? Man, even the iPhone won't work. But if I cut along here, it's going to eliminate that. I think it's jumping out of focus because it's getting dark. So gonna wrap it up. So the next step is the bad step. I gotta take the silicon carbide disc and grind all this out, clean all this up, so that I can come in here, start rebuilding the stringers. And then I think I'm gonna take my chop gun, and I'm gonna come in here with my chop gun, and I'm just gonna blast this thing with chop. I might tab in some of it with some 1708, but I really don't think it's necessary. I think a heavy layer of chop on this is gonna be plenty for this boat. So another productive day. Wish I got just a little bit farther on it, but I'm happy.